It is possible to be in a place where your body can't even receive the fat burning signal. And when this happens, it can be very difficult to squeeze out even a couple pounds of fat loss. No matter what you do, low calorie, low carb, keto, fasting, doesn't matter. The scale will not budge. And if it even does go down a couple of pounds, it goes right back up, and for no apparent reason. But today we are going to solve this problem. I'm going to tell you exactly why it happens and what you can do today to begin to fix it. I am Coach Terrell, and before we get into all of this, please hit that like and subscribe button. It truly helps us help more people. All right, let's talk a little bit about leptin. Leptin is the hormone that regulates your body fat. Leptin is produced in your body fat mostly, but also some in your stomach. And leptin's job is to tell your brain that you're full and also to help regulate the amount of stored energy that you have. Your body truly doesn't want to have too much or too little stored energy. But the problem is we can become resistant to leptin just like we can insulin, meaning our bodies are making all of it that we need, and sometimes even more. Our brain just isn't able to get the signal. So we become resistant to it. And it can be anywhere from moderately to severely resistant. And it's very easy to go down that path. Anything from being 10 or more pounds overweight, inflammation, stress, lack of sleep, overeating, all of these things can cause leptin resistance, and all of these things are very normal in our everyday life. However, our bodies aren't really prepared to take all that in. All right, so here's how it works. So the more full our fat cells become and the more fat cells we get, the more leptin we produce, which is the opposite of what researchers thought when they first discovered leptin in 1994, which is super recent. Anyway, they thought that the more full our fat cells became, or the more fat cells we got, that we had somehow become incapable of producing enough leptin to tell our brains that we had enough stored energy and to stop the fat storing. However, that's not what's happening. We are actually becoming resistant because we are making more and more and more. So the more full the fat cells become, the more leptin we produce. It's almost like our fat cells are literally begging our brain to stop storing fat, to stop filling them up. However, the brain is not getting the signal. In fact, it's not getting enough signal because of the resistance, so it actually turns on your hunger hormones and your fat storing hormones, which is a vicious cycle, and it's absolutely nuts because we can totally look in the mirror and be like, hey, guess what? I have enough stored energy. I don't need any more. So on top of regulating your metabolism, leptin also plays a pretty significant role in some other important hormones like your insulin or your fat storing hormone, and your ghrelin, which is a hunger hormone, your thyroid hormones, and your immune system. So it is a huge benefit for us to begin to increase our leptin sensitivity, and we can absolutely do it. It is a fast process. So the next 5 things that I give you, please give them about 30 days, give them a try and commit to them, because you will begin to see movement, and then it will become easier and easier for the weight to go. All right, this first one is a biggie, and I talk about it all the time, but we need to reduce the inflammation in our bodies. This is a major problem, and it is one of the biggest causes of leptin resistance and all kinds of other health problems that we have. And most of the inflammation comes into our bodies through the foods that we eat. So one thing that we can do is remove all the processed foods that contain the seed oils, like corn oil and canola oil, the sunflower, safflower, and soy. Like, these things are high in omega-6s, and they get our bodies off balance and very inflammatory because our omega-3s are low and our omega-6s are high. So read your labels. Make sure if you are buying anything in a box or a package that it does not have one of these oils. And then we need to balance out our omega-3s and our omega-6s. So once you get the high omega-6s out, now we need to add in some grass-fed beef and some free-range chicken. Wild-caught fish is great, or you can use supplements if you don't like to eat those kinds of foods. It is not a problem. However, the problem is that our inflammation happens when our omega-6s are very much higher than omega-3s, and those seed oils are definitely doing that to you. All right, the second one is also very inflammatory, but it comes with its own set of problems, and I am talking about sugar. Yes, we need to remove all the sugar from our lives. However, I don't mean carbs. Things like fruits, vegetables, and some starches are good for you. They're healthy, and they actually lower inflammation, and they're part of a very healthy diet. So we need to keep those, We just need to get rid of all the other kinds of sugar. And sugar comes in a lot of forms. It can just be called sugar, sucrose, fructose, and high fructose corn syrup, which was one of the worst ones. But also anything that ends in gum, that's a sugar. And a lot of people don't know that when it says natural flavoring, also probably sugar. So there are lots of hidden sugars in a lot of food. So again, please read your labels, because there is a lot better choices than we can make than the ones that come in a box and say they're healthy. All right, this third one is probably the only one that I would say could be more difficult to completely remove from your lives, because it is stress. And stress by definition causes inflammation in your body. It's just that we can't see it. And we can see the food that we eat. Those are the changes we can make easy because we can make better choices. Stress, however, can be a little bit more difficult to remove, especially when they're things that we think are healthy. And so we're doing them to lose weight or to become more healthy, but they're actually another stressor in our world. As many stressors as we can eliminate, the better we will be. And I'm talking things like super low calorie, prolonged dieting, super low carb dieting, way too much exercise, way too intensive exercise. In fact, leptin resistance has actually been linked to the reason that people who have been doing the keto diet for a long time, or what's called OMAD, 1 meal a day dieting, are struggling to continue to lose weight or to lose weight at all when they begin it. And the biggest stressor probably in almost everybody's life is the lack of sleep or quality of sleep. And so above all things, please, please, please make sleep a priority. Okay, these last two are probably the simplest, and they will actually increase the effects of the previous three. So number 4 is stop snacking and do not overfill your stomach. So if you're typically kind of a grazer, like all day long, you kind of snack here and there, try to begin to increase the amount of time between your meals and your snacks until you get left with only 3 meals. Now, I don't want you to be super low in your calories, so you're gonna have to absorb the calories that you miss from the snacks into those meals, which is where I want you to remember, do not overfill your stomach. Now, number 5 is sunlight. This is my favorite. I absolutely love this one. Leptin is actually modulated by sunlight, and sunlight in the morning helps you sleep better at night. Also, being outside in the sun, it reduces stress and inflammation. So it is important that we try to get outside in the sunlight every single day if possible. Although all of these things are simple to do, they do require some lifestyle changes, and this can be difficult if your family and friends aren't on board. So if you need some help sorting this out or some support along the way, I'm putting a link in the description with a little bit more information and a chance to get on a free call with us if you like. And thank you so much for sticking around. I will see you next time. Bye.